If they go out though against Mexico, people will say, "Have we gone forward under Tuchel? Have we gone backwards?" I mean, it is a question to be asked, really.
Yeah, I mean, and also had they scored that second goal, Visser scored that really easy chance. You kind of sense that could have been it, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. But the football managers, and I know this from my own experience, great players can make you look very, very good, and teams generally can really let you down. So the individuals can grasp the situation and get you out of tight moments when your team's not playing well, and you're answerable for the team. Really, I thought the team performance was average at best, and Harry got us out of it with a moment of great ability in 2 moments actually. So that happens, and that's great. And hopefully Thomas can get the team performing at a better level against Mexico. I can remember many a time, I can cast your mind back because I know we have a Chelsea fan in the room, that Papa Cisse getting that goal at Chelsea, in the outside of the boot. No one could see that coming. It was just great players produce great moments and win you games.
I was there that night. Yeah, it was quite annoying.
Yeah, and he was a broken man.
I thought he might have been.
Yeah.
It was a good goal, though.
Not being able to have a settled back four because of the injury situation, what would you be doing in this next few days? Because he'll know. I mean, are you happy with the centre halves at things stand, and how culpable were they? Although Jed Spence seems to have taken most of the heat, how culpable were they for DR Congo's first goal, Alan, in your eyes?
Yeah, well, they were definitely a part of the fault of that first goal because they didn't shuffle around and Spence had to come over on the cover. I felt actually Spence on the goal was probably not as to blame as the centre backs.
Absolutely,
it was just his all-round performance that worried me a bit more than that. I worry about our back four, I do, but let's just hope that it gels and puts in a great performance at Mexico, because it's definitely going to get worked. There's no doubt about that. Whether this is the game for Stones, I'm not so sure. They're quick, they're fast, they'll be energetic. Our centre-backs definitely need to be on their toes. It's going to be a tough game. But as I say, on the positive side, sometimes a back four can just quickly gel quite quickly and surprise even managers. So we definitely need that to happen, because our back four at the moment and goalkeeper look a little bit edgy.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
We're going to have a chat with David Seaman later.
Yeah, their line is led by 35-year-old Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, I mean, look, Raul Jimenez, we know...
He's a very, very good player, but,
we're talking about the crowd and the conditions, but, and Mexico have looked good, but they're playing in their own backyard. But man for man, it'd be very hard to argue that England aren't a better side. But as I said...
I just think that, with Jimenez leading the line, which we do know well, and obviously... as a Fulham fan, I know him really well. He's a terrific player, but he's not going to really stretch it. It's the runners that worry me.
Yeah.
Because, in the system that Mexico play, they've got runners going past him and inside of him, i.e. the wide players. So, our centre-backs really need to be alert, more so. Obviously got to look after him, but it's going to be more so the runners that are coming through and the movement that they have. I still maintain, though, and I'm positive on this, I think we could beat Mexico. I would not like the bookies. I would have us slight favourites.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Are you concerned, Alan, at all about the Arsenal players who have looked a little bit, and it's understandable, they had such an emotional, such a long season, but a lot of them haven't, they've looked a bit tired, and they've looked a bit like emotionally tired, mentally rather than physically.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, winning the title for the first time and under the pressure they was under with Man City pushing. I guess they are a little bit tired. But, I think it's that part of the season now where really and truly they know how big this competition is. You got to kind of put all that negativity behind you and just step forward. And I think Rice has actually been very, very good in these games in a team that isn't functioning very well. So I think Saka's the one, and I think it's more physical and mental with him. I think it just looks like everything is caught up with him, and maybe coming off the bench is the best option at the moment.
Just finally, on the transfer front, as an ex-West Ham manager, we've heard that Mateus Fernandes has left the club and gone to Spurs. They're saying for around £85 million. I mean, you reflect on his performances with Madge every Sunday. What do you make of Fernandes as a player and as a sign-in for Spurs?
Well, a very good friend of mine. I won't tell you who he is, but he's very famous at West Ham. Told me that Fernandes is probably as good a player as they've had for many, many a year. So it's a major blow to them. I think, getting relegated is the problem. You lose great young players. For Spurs, what they're going to get is a player who is very, very comfortable with the ball, gets around the pitch. He's agile. He's up and down quickly when he gets knocked down. And he's a winner. I really think that's a great signing for Spurs, and the valuation justifies that opinion. So a big loss for West Ham.
Does it feel like too much money for you? I mean, we had Daniel Levy telling Simon Jordan that had their pants pulled down for Van Ecker at 52, so he probably thinks they'll start being naked.
Completely irrelevant.
I know.
I don't agree with Simon even 1 inch, because it doesn't matter. If Spurs wanted this player, that's what he costs. Now they've got him. Who cares what he costs?
And valuations, I mean, I don't think any of us can keep up with what a player is worth in this current market, can we?
Well, I think what's happened at Spurs is the threat of almost getting relegated has knocked them into major league action. And they've gone like, well, okay. And remember last year when they missed out on 2 or 3 signings, particularly the Forest boy, that they couldn't really fall down. When they enter in the market now, they need to get it over the line, and they've done that. And I suspect their wage bill, and Daniel Levy would definitely have sleepless nights now, is now taking a completely different turn in the graph.
Yeah.
The graph has definitely gone up.
Well, I'm certainly hoping so, as I've renewed my season ticket. Alan, we're going to chat to you next week, and we sincerely hope we'll be looking ahead to England.
We should ask Alan if he's staying up.
Yeah,
So.
How are you going to do it? You're going to get a few hours shut eye first, or you're not going to bother? You're going to just go through, and how are you going to?
Well, it's easy for 60-year-olds. We have that thing called an afternoon nap. And if you're a young person, you should try it.
Okay, right, good stuff.
Brilliant.
Cheers, Alan.
Thank
All
you.
the best. That's Alan Pardew there, former West Ham Newcastle manager. You can check out the latest World Cup Daily podcast. Adrian Durham, joined by Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot in Atlanta. I was having a listen to the guys after the game last night, and it was a really good listen, so I'm sure the podcast will be as well. Talking Harry Kane and those 2 goals, Tuchel's tactics, Stuart talking about climbing Mount Kilimanjaro to talk about a bit of altitude. Maybe that's something we'll touch on with him when he joins us later. And you'll hear from Thomas Tuchel, Declan Rice, who had a really interesting chat with Faye, and Elliot Anderson. That's the World Cup Daily, available on all podcast platforms now. We'll have a Spurs fan joining us to talk Jed Spence. And Nick Littlehales is a sleep expert and can give us some insight in how maybe we should approach that 1 a.m. kickoff live on talkSPORT early hours of Monday morning. We're here with our good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.